just talk about the uses of accounting information and their needs. Okay. अभी तक तो ये पता है कि अकाउंटिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन क्या है, हम क्यों रिकॉर्ड करते हैं, what are the advantages, what are the limitations, and we also know with the definition that what are the accounting information is there that has to be communicated to the various users. Okay, now who all are the users and how are these users categorized? Let us understand this. The users are broadly categorized into two categories basically. One is the internal user and second is the external users. Internal and external. Okay, let us see the categories one by one. Who are internal users? Let us understand that. Internal users contain are the persons who are directly connected to the operation, the management of the business entity. Okay, the management is definitely going to be the part of the internal user. They may include the management में कौन आएगा, the directors, the officers, etc. And अगर sole proprietorship firm है तो sole proprietor and partnership firm है तो partners. First one, the management. Let us talk about the management. As a user, the internal user of accounting information, what is management looking for? Okay, management है तो management will always look for their efficiency, right? Will always want to have a check on their efficiency, whether they have been efficient enough this year as compared to previous year or not. If they are not, then in that case they will look for the areas where they need to have the control, right? That's why we already have discussed the advantage. It helps the management in taking the managerial decisions. The same point is over here. Management requires accounting information for the smooth and efficient functioning of the enterprise. They need frequent information with regard to the cost price, the selling price of the product. They produce the annual reports of the entity containing the trading and profit and loss account, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. These three are the important parts of the annual report of the company. This published information are used by the external users of the accounting service. However, management requires both the published and unpublished information for making future plans and controlling of the business entity. This is what I told you. Management would like to have the information with them, whether it is published or unpublished. Unpublished मतलब internally कुछ problems चल रहे हैं तो वो भी management को पता होना चाहिए, so that they can work on that for making the future plans and having the controlling process for under the business entity. Management also exercises the corrective actions on the basis of the accounting information. Corrective actions कहाँ पता चलेंगे, like wherever they feel like this year the manufacturing expenses have increased, so they will try to have a control on those manufacturing expenses. Office expenses अगर खर्चा बढ़ गया तो they would like to have a control on those office expenses and so on. Okay, so this is what is a part of the management. They need to have the information which is published as well as unpublished. Okay, published accounts कौन use करेगा? All the external users, like the shareholders are there, the debenture holders are there, the bankers are there. उन सबको जो published accounts हैं, annual report जो publish करना पड़ता है, they just have they would like to have the data with them, right? But as a part of the management, they would like to have the internal data also, so that they can have that information for the planning as well as for the controlling purpose. Second, the proprietors, yes, owners, shareholders, जो भी owners हैं, they are also the investors. Investors का point of view simple रहता है कि first is the regularity of adequate return and second is the safety of their capital in the long run. Short run and long run. Short run में they would like to have the regular return from the company, and in the long run they would like to ensure the safety of their capital invested. To meet these objectives, they require the accounting information that the objective is given to you. They are also interested in knowing whether the profits are increasing or decreasing and the probable reason for this change. Okay, whatever the profits are there of the company, if they just find that the profits are increasing, they may take a decision to continue with the company for a longer period of time. But if the company is not earning that good profit, the profits of the company is decreasing. In that case, they may sell off the shares and look for some better prospects. Okay, so should they continue to remain with their investments or not? That is a decision they would like to take. Okay, if they are not satisfied with the performance of the company, they may sell their shares and buy the shares of the company where prospects are better, right? So this is what is the objective of a shareholder or the proprietor of the company. Next, employees. Employees are also a part of the internal user, right? Because they are directly connected to the company, the performance of the company, right? They are interested to assess the ability of the entity to pay the higher and regular wages payments. Employees and workers, they would like to know whether the company will be able to pay the higher and the regular wages. Regular wages भी मिल जाए, आजकल की तारीख में तो बहुत है. Higher wages in terms of the profits. If the company is earning some good profit, so yes, they will be expecting a higher pay, right? Payment of bonus. Bonus at the time of Diwali, generally it's a practice, right? In India, like the workers do get a bonus, the payment of bonus. Also, the regularity in depositing, spelling error, depositing the amount of provident fund of workers. Every employees in the big organizations, even if I talk about the school also contributes some amount for the provident fund, right? So, well, is the company regular in making the contribution for the PF for the workers and the employees on regular basis? Is it regular or not? That has to be checked. So all this information is required by the employees and the workers of the organization, and for that purpose, they are interested to know the accounting information, right? And yes, if the company has been earning some huge profits, so there are always a chances of opening a new branch, and if the new branch is there, they may look for the opportunity also at a higher post. Okay, promotion of the worker, fine. Now let us talk about the external users. All those users of accounting service except the management fall under the category of external end users. The management provides published information, as I was talking to you when I was sharing the information about the management. Management would like to have the published as well as unpublished information, but for external users, they have only published information. Potential investors, the very first one from the external users. Potential investors are the one like who think of investing the money into the company. Okay, so they think of making investment, and making investment always involves a risk. The investors have no control on the preparation of the accounting information. They're not a part of the management, right? The potential investors basically. So they have to simply rely on the information provided to them in the form of published information. Okay. Whosoever as an investor is there, a potential investor who would like to invest the money into the company accounts, company shares and all, so they simply have to rely upon the information which has been published and which has been issued by the company, right? They should try to evaluate the earning prospects of the company and the safety of their investments from the published accounts only. Second is the bankers and the financial institutions. What will they look for? They will also look for the short-term solvency and the long-term solvency, right? Short-term mein, they would like to ensure the payment of the interest on regular basis, because bankers and financial institutions and they must have provided loan to us. तो उनको क्या देखना है कि short term में whether the company will be able to pay us the interest on time or not. Second, long term में क्या check करना है? The solvency में ये check करना है कि whether the company is capable of making the repayment of the loan or not. Okay, so such things are such are the objectives of such bankers and financial institutions. Bankers and financial institutions basically provide the long-term or the short-term loan, medium-term loan, okay, to the business entity so that they can make the financial appraisal of the entity to know the repayment capacity of the loan and the regulate of the interest payment. So these are the two things I was telling you: repayment capacity of the loan and the regularity of interest payment on loan. These are the two objectives of these bankers and financial institutions. Next is creditors. Creditors are the suppliers. Being the supplier, they are interested to know the regularity of the payment, and the continuation of the firm. Okay, they provide goods on credit, so they would also like to ensure the credit worthiness of the firm. Accounting information helps to provide information about the financial soundness. Okay, with the help of the balance sheet and all, they will come to know, the creditors will come to know about the financial soundness, कि company के पास कितना receivable है, कितना payable है. Accordingly, they can take the decision whether to supply the goods in future or not. Okay, they can decide whether the goods be provided to the firm on credit or not, and if yes, to what extent. These all decisions can be taken by them only when they have some accounting information with them. Now, government is also one of the uses of accounting information, because government will have to look for the taxes. Whatever the income is earned by the business entities, the companies, government would like to collect the taxes from them. Various taxes are there. You talk about the income tax, you talk about the corporate tax, you talk about the GST, right? So all these are the various taxes which the government would like to know whether the companies are paying it on regular basis or not. Okay, so this is what is the information, like they would like to have it with the help of the accounting information. Researchers also need to have the accounting information with them. These are basically the analysts who keep on comparing the results of one company with another company, okay, to make the inter-firm comparison. Okay, for that purpose they need to have the accounting information with them, so that they can come to know about the operating performance and the financial soundness of the business entity. Okay, that is what is the objective of the researchers. Next is the public. Why is public interested in knowing the financial statements, in knowing the accounting information? It is basically to know that whether the company has been doing some CSR activity, that is corporate social responsibility, are they fulfilling it or not? Apart from that, are they creating some job opportunities or not? That is what is the objective of the public to know. They're also interested to know the growth potential of the business entity. Also, they would like to know whether the company has been providing the job employment opportunities to the public or not. Okay, they also uses the products manufactured by the company, so they would like to ensure that they are of good quality, okay, a healthy product, and also they are provided to them at a reasonable price, right? All this information can be obtained by the public with the help of the accounting information. Okay, they are also interested to know about the CSR activities, that is corporate social responsibilities. After the various users, we have some qualitative characteristics of accounting information. अकाउंटिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन क्या होता है, क्यों लिखना होता है, क्या एडवांटेजेस हैं, लिमिटेशंस हैं, किस किस के काम आता है. These topics have been covered till now. But moving into the chapter ahead now, the next topic is a very important topic, that is qualitative characteristics. Okay, because this is the information which is, a kind of a published data from the company's point of view in the annual report. So it should possess some features. The accounting information should possess these qualities. Why do we prepare the financial statements? The basic objective is to know about the profit and loss, okay, the actual and the fair view of the profitability position with the help of the profit and loss account, and to know about the position of the assets and liabilities. It should be the fair view about it with the help of the balance sheet. So in short, the financial statements like P&L account and balance sheet reveal the profitability position and the financial position of the business entity, which has to be true and fair. Okay, for that purpose, it should possess, okay, the basic qualitative characteristics, okay, so that whatever the information is there, that can be somewhat meaningful to the users. What are the attributes? What are the characteristics that the accounting information should possess? Number one is reliability. The accounting information will be reliable only when it is free from the personal biasness of the owner. Okay, to be free from the personal biasness of the owner, the accounting information, like the accountant has to ensure that when he is writing something into the books of accounts, that information has to be well supported by the documentary evidence in the form of source document, or it may be the vouchers. So it has to be ensured, okay, so that the information is reliable. Okay, reliable का मतलब ये होता है कि whosoever the user of accounting information is there, they are able to depend and rely on the information. And this is only possible when it is totally free from the errors and the personal biasness. And this can be done only when the transactions are well supported by the documentary evidence and they are verifiable. Financial information, the accounting information should be free from the personal biasness. That is, wherever the personal judgment is to be exercised, it should be judicious, it should be reasonable and free from the biasness of the owner or the accountant. Okay, that has to be seen wherever the personal judgment comes into exercise. Personal judgment is normally required in case of valuation of stock and for making the provision for doubtful debts. This thing has been explained to you earlier. For the valuation of stock also, we have different methods. For the method of charging depreciation, we have different methods. For making the provision, okay, for doubtful debts, डाउटफुल डेट्स हो सकते हैं कि मेरे फर्म में ज़्यादा हो और वरुण के फर्म में कम हो, तो लाइक द प्रोविजन विल मैटर. So it has to be judicious. Okay, wherever the personal judgment comes into picture, that has to be justified as per the requirement of the business entity. ठीक है, तो due care should be exercised while doing them. That's fine. That is what is all about the reliability. The next feature that the accounting information should possess is relevance, right? ये बोला जाता है कि like whenever you are doing the accounting process, so you should ensure that the relevant data is reflected in the books of accounts. अब relevant data का मतलब क्या होता है? Any such information which is of some use to the various users. इतने सारे users हैं, तो keeping in mind all the users, should we disclose the information? No, because इतने सारे users हैं, हर एक का अपना अपना objective है. So what is to be done? So we just need to make sure that any irrelevant data, unneeded information should not be disclosed in the books of accounts. Okay, whatever is required as per the law, we should all disclose such information, and all the relevant information which can be of some use to any of the user of accounting information to come to some decision, that information should be shown in the books of accounts, right? So accounting information exhibited by the financial statements must be relevant with the informational need of the various end users. What is the relevant information? The information about the various segments, the information about the various departments, the information about the various accounting conventions and principles used by the business entity are to be disclosed so that the users may draw the meaningful conclusions. There is one more fact that relevant information is disputed matter. The reason is very clear, because one thing is relevant for one user which may not be relevant for another user. मैंने बताया ना, इतने सारे users हैं, तो क्या करना है? तो we should have a set of information with us, show it, disclose it in the annual report. Okay. Relevant information does not mean more and unneeded information which merely increases the confusion. मतलब आपको जब भी annual report बनाते हो, at that time we need to take care कि we should avoid the unnecessary information, right? कि जो information किसी के भी काम का नहीं है, that information should not be disclosed in the books of accounts, just to avoid the confusion in the minds of the various users, right? Disclosure as per the law must be fulfilled, even though it is complex in nature. So as per the law, what are the basic things are required? Keep on disclosing such things in the books of accounts. That's relevance. First was reliability, second is relevance, third is understandability. अब ये भी ऐसा होता है ना कि like the end user, should be able to interpret the accounting information in the way it has been interpreted, it has been produced by the company. Company ने annual report बना दिया, a fixed set of books of accounts is there. Now company expects that whatever information they want to pass on to you, you should be able to understand it in the similar manner. And for that purpose, it is assumed that the various end users do possess some accounting knowledge. Okay, so understandability, it implies to the users of financial statements that they must interpret the accounting information in the same sense as it is prepared and conveyed to them. They should interpret in the same sense as it is interpreted to them and as it is conveyed to them. The company do assume that the users do possess some reasonable knowledge of business, right, and are willing to study the information with a reasonable diligence using their minds, right. तो कुछ knowledge होना चाहिए तो ही आपको वो समझ में आएगा the way like the company wants to convey it to you. Correct? That is what is all about understandability, right? Fine. Next is comparability. The accounting information should be comparable. Okay. अब comparable का मतलब ये होता है कि like जो भी information है, जो भी data है, तो we should be able to have the inter-firm comparison or intra-firm comparison. Inter-firm is when you compare your set of books of accounts with some other similar firm like into the similar business, and intra-firm is when you just compare your own set of books of current year to previous year, right? So that is comparability. So this comparability will be possible only when the accounting policies, the principles are consistently followed. If you just keep on changing the accounting policies, the books of accounts will change. Maybe like the profitability position will change. If there is a change in the method of depreciation, if there is a change in the valuation of closing stock, it will be affecting the profitability a lot. So to make the books of accounts comparable, okay, it has to be ensured that the consistency concept is followed. Okay, this is possible only when the accounting period, the accounting concepts and the conventions are consistently followed by the management. Okay, clear? After the three basic features, relevant, reliable and understandable, comparability is also the very, very important factor. Your books of accounts, the accounting information is comparable only when the accounting policies and the concepts are followed consistently. Okay, the standard accounting policies be followed consistently so that the inter-firm comparison and the intra-firm comparison can be made effectively. Okay, अगर comparison करना है तो आपके जो भी accounting policies हैं वो आपको consistently follow करने पड़ेंगे. That is what is the point over here. Okay, now let us start with the system of accounting. The system of accounting that we are going to learn in this particular year 11th, and now like the system that you are going to follow throughout the lifetime as far as you are going to learn accountancy. Okay, so that is double entry system. That is one of the system of accounting. It is basically categorized into two. One is double entry system. This is system I was telling you throughout the year हम यही सीखेंगे till chapter number 17 18 तक यही करना है. Chapter 19 will talk about the second system, that is single entry system. Just one chapter for that particular system because that is not much in use. Very commonly system used throughout the world is double entry system. Double entry system, it is said that it was developed in 1494 by an Italian monk, that is Luca Pacioli, right? It is generally believed that accounting कब से है, बच्चे जिनको accounts बिल्कुल अच्छा नहीं लगता ना, तो they just ask me, सर accounts बनाया किसने है? तो मुझे जवाब देना पड़ता है कि भाई मैं भी नहीं जानता, लेकिन हाँ नाम पता है कि ये लुका पैक्योली था कोई, है ना, and 1494 में. But for 1 marker questions you need to remember this Luca Pacioli 1494, right? Okay. Double entry system. Why it is termed as double entry system? Because every transaction in accountancy, right, will have two aspects. One is a debit aspect and the second is a credit. Okay. So one transaction will be recorded on the debit side again, and this will be recorded on the credit side as well, following the rules and principles of accountancy. We have an example over here. Goods purchased for cash. two aspects are going to be, one is goods comes in, that has to be debited, and cash goes out. When we are purchasing goods, against that we are paying cash. So goods is one aspect, cash is second aspect. Goods comes in, so debit, cash goes out, so credit. Now how do we decide that? We'll discuss that later in chapter number 5. Okay, not before that. Chapter pehle theory ke hain, let us complete those things, right? So because we have two aspects over here, okay, for every transaction in the business, so that is why this system is termed as a double entry system. Also, we need to make sure that whenever you have the debit and the credit aspect, it has to be of the same amount, right? Whatever amount is debited, the same amount needs to be credited. It is a systematic, a complete scientific method for recording the financial transactions of the business entity, and this is one of the very good reason why this is followed throughout the world. This system is based on the values as certain principles of accounting are followed while recording the business transaction. This used to be an important statement, important questions were there, but now value-based questions are not in syllabus. What are the features of this particular system? First is, it is a systematic, complete, and scientific method of recording the financial transactions. Second, each transaction is recorded at two places. One is a debit and other is a credit. Third, the total of all debits and all credits must be equal. Okay, this has to be taken care of. When we will be in chapter 7, journal, at that time also we will see that whatever the amount is debited, the equal amount is credited, and the total of the journal remains same for the two sides, the two columns, that is debit and credit. The arithmetical accuracy, this is what we have been discussing, like spelling error. Again, a trial balance. Whenever the trial balance is prepared, as I told you, trial balance is prepared with an objective of knowing the arithmetical accuracy. Whenever you talk about this word arithmetical accuracy, this simply ensures that whatever the amount has been debited, the same amount has been credited. What are the advantages of double entry system? First one is, it's a scientific system. It is the most authentic and the scientific system of recording the business transactions in the books of accounts. Second, keeps the record of all the transactions. Okay, whichever transaction takes place, because right from day one I have been telling you कि Gujaratis हैं, Marwadis हैं, Sindhis हैं, जो भी business में हैं, right? Everybody believes in just one thing, that is Lakhailu Vanchai, right? When you just write the things, you can refer it at any point of time, right? So that is what is the point, and all transactions are recorded systematically in the books of accounts, and that too in a chronological order. Accuracy of accounts is the third advantage. Over here, the arithmetic accuracy, okay, can be known by preparing the trial balance. Fourth, reveals profit and loss. Okay, profit and loss. Okay, so profit and loss कौन से अकाउंट से पता चलता है? I have been asking you since 2 days now. Which account will let us know the profit or loss of the business entity? It is profit and loss account itself, right? Balance sheet will reveal the financial position, right? Okay, the profit earned or the loss suffered, okay, can be ascertained by preparing profit and loss account. When it comes to financial position, yes, this will be known from the balance sheet. In balance sheet, we record all the assets, all the liabilities, right? The financial position can be known on critical basis by preparing the balance sheet. Useful for making comparative study. Today in the morning also I have told you about the comparability, the special feature the accounting information should possess. So the same thing is over here. Users of financial statements can make the intra-firm comparison or inter-firm comparison and can ascertain the cause of changes as well. Whenever you compare, you come to know about the changes, right? Helps the management in taking the managerial decisions. These all advantages are, I think, like we are repeating, in fact. Okay, what are the advantages are there for accounting? The same kind of advantages we can see for double entry system, right? So in respect of control, in respect of the future planning, what are the decisions are to be taken by the management for that purpose? Also, the accounting information do help. So we already have gone through such advantage. Early detection of errors and frauds. Yes, when we have a complete system of accounting, a systematic system of accounting, so it is very easy for us to detect the errors. and rectify them. We have some disadvantages as well of double entry system, right? Let us see those. Requires detailed knowledge of principles of accounting. Suppose मैंने accounts नहीं पढ़ा लेकिन मुझे books of accounts बनाने हैं, will I be able to do that? Or even if I hire a CA, तो CA क्या कर रहा है क्या नहीं कर रहा है, और accountant क्या कर रहा है क्या नहीं कर रहा है, तो I will not be having any idea about that. So that is a disadvantage. Like if I want to write the books of accounts in a systematic way, I should possess a very good or detailed knowledge of principles of accounting, which we are going to learn in chapter number 3 from here. This is chapter 1 right now. Second, it is a complicated method as compared to the second method, that is single entry system, right? It's a complicated method because there are so many books to be maintained. The system involves the recording of both the debit and credit aspects, and so the system is comparatively complicated in nature. Comparatively means किससे compare कर रहे हैं? Single entry system से, because under single entry system it depends on the owner, the proprietor, whether to give two aspects, whether to give just one effect of the transaction, whether to write or not. Even that decision is taken by the owner, right? So we are going to learn that in chapter number 19 from here. Costly system, yes, because you will have to hire the expert over here to write the books of accounts. Auditing वगैरह करना पड़ता है, इतने सारे books of accounts maintain करने पड़ते हैं. So it is comparatively a costly system, double entry system. System not suitable to small traders. Small traders are the one who are going to follow the single entry system, wherein like they hardly maintain two books, the receivable book and the payable book, in which they just write the name of the persons from whom they have to receive the money, to whom the amount is to be paid. Just two books they maintain. तो जो small traders हैं, जो small hawkers हैं, roadside vendors हैं, या फिर the sole proprietors in the residential areas and all, they do maintain a single entry system, and double entry system is not at all suitable to small traders. Let us learn something about the single entry system. Single entry system में, as the name suggests, all the transactions are not recorded on double entry basis. जो double entry में होता है ऐसा कुछ भी यहाँ नहीं होता है. No proper set of books are there. No record of all the transactions. Okay, generally जो small traders हैं, what they do is, as I told you right now, they just maintain two books, maybe like 3 books as well. One is cash book, wherein like they just record the cash comes in and cash goes out. Inflow and outflow of cash is recorded in that particular book. Second is the receivable book, and third is the payable book. That's all. The books of accounts gets over there itself. कुछ और करना ही नहीं है. At the end of the year, what is check is, लास्ट ईयर इतना बैलेंस है, इस साल इतना बैलेंस है, हमारा इतना प्रॉफिट हो गया, ओवर. दिस इज हाउ दे calculate. That is what is about single entry system. In this system, as I told you, the recording of the transaction very much depends on the owner and their wishes, in fact. Okay, they want to write the two effects of a transaction, they write it. They want to write just one effect, they accordingly write it. नहीं भी लिखते. Many transactions are not recorded by the small traders in the books of accounts. Okay, so basically the another name is like, it is incomplete system of accounting. Incomplete. Okay, cash book and personal accounts, as I told you, cash book and personal में the receivables and the payables are maintained under this system. The method is not scientific, it is unsystematic, unreliable method of keeping the accounting records, right? Unsystematic, unreliable. So when it comes to reliability point of view, we definitely rely upon the double entry system as compared to single entry system. Only small scale traders, okay, as I told you, the roadside vendors basically, right? Or maybe the sole proprietors doing a business on a very, very small scale. Such traders do use single entry system.